Hello, good afternoon, good evening, good morning and welcome. It's Nurse Richard, the Wax Wizard. 2 ears in this, both very different but both very satisfying. First one's a really deep plug that we have to get off the eardrum with a fine end. The second one is a really juicy peel, skin peel of the whole canal. And I know a lot of you like watching peels. They're a lot of your favourite things to watch. It's one of my favourite things to do as well, really enjoy it. Now this first lady, I did ask her, have you poked anything in here? Because that's very deep, really deep. Thankfully it came out really easily. I was quite surprised. And I asked her, I said, have you been putting anything in there, poked anything in there? I'll be honest, even if she had, which she didn't admit to, she would have done well to get it all the way down there because it's a really narrow, tight, bendy, twisty ear canal. As you can see, I can only just about get the endoscope in, and trying to get it round to see the whole eardrum was not easy. She gobsmacked at the difference. She couldn't hear a thing until that thing came out. The second one wasn't too much in there at all. But this kind of led me to believe that maybe she didn't poke anything in here because her other ear probably started off looking something like this. And it's just where the base of the ear, the eardrum itself sheds its skin, sheds its top layer, and gradually moves up the ear canal. But because this is really bendy and twisty, as it's migrating outwards, it probably just gets stuck and trapped in there and can't get any further. So that's why I said I'd just peel this away, just to prevent stuff from backing up behind this. I said, you're not going to feel any difference in this, excuse me. But it might mean that you don't have to come and see me as soon if we didn't get rid of it. Yeah, that was it. A couple of flakes there, they're insignificant, not going to touch them. Now, here's the peel. Excuse me, frog in my throat. Now, his symptoms weren't too much, to be honest. I have seen him before on quite a regular basis, maybe every 6 months or so, and he just gets really itchy. And you can see why, because he gets this quite thick layer of dead skin in there. And it almost came away in one perfect cocoon shape of the ear. But the last bit gave me a bit of trouble, to be honest with you. But it just looks really satisfying when you see peels like this. I really enjoy them. They are tricky because obviously you're working quite close to the canal wall, and you don't want to be touching that with this, which is the fine end tube. I am going to ask a favour of you all, which I don't ask very often, and that's if you enjoy what I put out there, which is quite a lot. You get a new video every 2 days, every 48 hours. If you could subscribe to the channel, because there's so many who watch this, and if that's you, you're one of these ones who watches these videos regularly, you watch all of them, but you've never thought to just click a little button behind you that says subscribe, this is on YouTube, then please do so, because it does help the channel to be recommended to more people who are looking for this type of content. And there is a lot of people looking for this type of content, but there's so many who watch and don't subscribe. Because if I give you an example of regularly each month, currently up to about 5 million views I get on these videos, but there's less than 50,000 followers on TikTok, and there's less than 40,000 subscribers on YouTube. So if you like it and you watch it, just click that button. The only reason is I'm not particularly bothered about this, but my kids are desperate for me to get a play button. And I will display it as pride of place in my new clinic, which I've almost finished decorating, which I'll show you in the next couple of videos. They're desperate for me to get a play button. So let's at least get to 50,000 on YouTube before Christmas. That would be very nice. And maybe we'll get the 100 sometime next year. Sooner would be better. Doesn't cost you anything to subscribe. All you've got to do is press the button that says subscribe. You don't need to do anything else other than that. So as you can see, slowly peeling this away, and I'm hoping that this will all come away at once. But I think I have to go to the left-hand side of this canal wall to finish it off. And there does end up being quite a deep one that's probably the more difficult one to get, because there's a bit of a thick plug just in front of the eardrum, which I had a bit of an argument with before it would finally come free. As usual, I've almost forgotten dad joke of the day, which I always get in trouble with those regular followers who say, where is it? Why haven't you done them today? And if you're wondering, what's he talking about? Sometimes I throw a couple of dad jokes in because I'm a dad of 3 and it's my job to embarrass my children. I've run out of jokes that I've told on the channel, so I've got a book. Thanks to some of my followers for sending me these books. So we'll have a few from this. Look at the imagery on this, really beautiful. I've got a new endoscope, by the way. I'm not put any videos on with it yet, but I'm hoping it gets even better clarity with that. Anyway, drifting off subject. Right, let's have 3 or 4, shall we? Police have warned of a man in craft stores dipping his testicles in glitter. It's pretty nuts. That's very good. I like that one. What starts with an O and ends with onions and sometimes makes you cry? It's not what you think. Any guesses? Opinions. I was drinking my milkshake on a cliff and thought, wow, this is legendary. Oh, a friend asked me what rhymes with orange. I said, no, it doesn't. Juggling seems like fun. I just don't have the balls to do it. There's a lot of balls and testicles jokes in this one. This is the blue book. There's definitely one that's a bit bluer than the others. Right, let's have one more before we get this last one out. I buy my guns from a guy called T-Rex. He's a small arms dealer. Get it? Small arms. Anyway, this last one here, as you can see, 'cause it's a bit darker, a bit thicker. And it's why it's a bit trickier to get out, because it's just a little bit stuck. I think I had to keep stopping because, as you can see, there's like a thin ribbon at the end of that. When I put the suction tube on that, it kind of whistles a little bit, kind of flaps about in the tube. We call it clarinetting, and a lot of you regulars will know that already. So I had to keep coming away when it started doing that. Now, sometimes it's inevitable, it's kind of unavoidable, but as long as it's not troubling the patient too much, a few little squeaks here and there isn't too bad, but if it's violently flapping and squeaking, then you should stop because you don't want to damage anyone's hearing. But we're almost there with this one. I think I had to stop again. Sometimes you do just have to stop again, stop in between doing things. You're wondering why does he stop and come away? It's just to give your arms and your hands a rest, because there's quite a lot of tension involved in holding these things. So you just have to give yourself a little rest sometimes. And obviously give the patient a break and keep, rather than just staying in there the whole time. Now I can see it starting to move now. So I'm pretty sure it's at this point where it starts to come away. I think me and the patient were both egging it on because he was watching it on the screen. He said, come on, you monkey. There it comes. Just a little flake fell off then. So let's just go in and get that tiny little last flake there. There is another flake just to the right of it. No, absolutely no point going in to get that. It's really fresh. As you can see, it's translucent. You can see through it. So chances are some of that is more than likely still attached to some living tissue on the eardrum. So no reason to peel that away. But there you go, nice and clear. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. Lovely, satisfying peeling for you all. And like I said before, if you watch these videos and never subscribed, this is on YouTube mainly, then press the button down below that says subscribe. Costs you nothing, you won't get spammed. But I hope you enjoyed that. But for now, take care of yourself. I'll see you soon. Ta-da.